everybody, it's Friday. I'm late going into work because I just didn't feel very good this morning. And I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this on my vlog or not, but I'm going to, because maybe it'll help me feel a little better. But anybody that knows me personally knows the story of my uncle was murdered back in 2011 by someone that was living in his house and her boyfriend or whatever he is. And they pleaded out on, I guess it was Monday. He got 45 years and she got 30 years, and they have an opportunity for parole. She has after 15 years and him after 23 years. And so we registered with Victim Services. That way we're notified in any change of custody in regards to them. So that if they're released on parole, or if they're up for a parole hearing or whatever, we get notified. And the DA's having us write letters and everything else to try to start now and write a bunch. That way they have a whole jacket full for each of them the first time they go up for parole. And I made the mistake yesterday of using my curious nature to find out more information, and I stumbled upon the DA's final report, which is the only version of the events that we know of, because of course my uncle can't say anything about it, he's gone. So anyway, I read it, and needless to say, I would give up YouTubing, my guitars, all my video games, even my Prius, and have to ride a bike to work to take back what I read. It was a lot worse than I thought it was going to be, and I really wish I hadn't read it, and I'm hoping that my family doesn't read it. It's pretty bad. So, you know, I struggled over whether I wanted to say anything. I'm not going to tell you what's in the report, and I'm not going to give you any information so you can go look it up. It's bad. And it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. And so hopefully at some point in time I can start to get it out of my mind and not dwell on it, but it's still fresh in my mind. But I can tell you, if I have anything to do with it, they're serving their full sentences. They're not getting out early. I'll do whatever I have to as far as writing letters and going to hearings. I mean, it's basically up to myself and my cousins and my second cousins to make sure that they stay in there, because by the time he's eligible for parole, my dad will be 93. And he may not be in any kind of a capacity to go to one of these things, mentally or physically. And so it has to be up to me and to the generations that have been alive and knew him, knew my uncle, and had spent time with him. We're the ones that would have to step up and write letters and go to these parole hearings. And I'm going to, no matter where I'm at in the world, I'll be there to make sure that he stays in and she stays in for their whole full sentences. And if we get lucky, they stay in their full sentences, they'll probably die of natural causes or disease or something before they ever get out. And they'll have basically spent a good majority of their life in prison for what they did. And a lot of people are like, well, that's why I agree with the death penalty. They should have got the death penalty. Yeah, they should have, and that was on the table. But the problem is that nobody would have ever known what actually happened. And not that I want to know at this point, like I said. And so after reading that, I'm like, they should have gotten the death penalty. somebody should have just put a bullet in their head, shoot them by firing squad, torture them, do something. You know, injecting stuff in their bodies, not crap, fry them. Let them be that the last thing that they remember is frying to death. But I have a unique opportunity to exact my revenge by blocking their parole. And to me, that kind of gives me a sense of pride that I get to, I get to do something like that to keep my uncle's memory alive. So it's rough. So anyway, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'll get too emotional if I keep talking about it. So anyway, thanks for listening to that and letting me kind of vent. Anyway, yesterday, let's get back on the topic of my normal jibber jabber. Yesterday, Fry's had, do you remember I originally talked about wanting this Samsung MV900 camera, the one with the flip up screen? Fry's had it on sale yesterday for $129. And of course, the Fry's in Austin doesn't have them. That's usually about half the stuff in their ad the Austin Fry's doesn't have. Why, I don't know. They suck. And so I called over there and they're like, oh, we don't have them. And I was like, crap. And if they'd had one, I would have tried to talk to the wife and let me get one, because they were $129 down from like $349. So it was a really good deal. And it's not necessarily the camera I want now, but it definitely, if I'd have had it, that'd have been the camera I used from now on. So there's a couple of other ones that I want. One, I have to find somebody that's going to Japan and buy it for me, because it's a Casio and you can only get it in Japan. And then everybody's saying when you buy it at one of these little Japanese stores, you have to find somebody that knows English and Japanese and have them switch the menu system. Otherwise, you'll never figure it out. So, and that one, the reason I want it is because it'll do 1,000 frames per second. It does the ultra slow-mo. And I kind of wanted to do that to do some cool visual effects and stuff. And then it does, 1080p at 60 frames, which is really nice. And I think it's like something like $349 over in Japan. So I'll have to save up, and I know somebody that goes over there on business trips from time to time, and I'll just have them grab me one. So I just noticed my camera is crooked today. There we go. And then the other one, there's an Olympus that just got released that's got a 5-axis stabilization. So it has a physical and a digital stabilization for the video. The photography, it only has a 3-axis. And then for the video, the other 2 axis, from what I know, is a mechanical axis. And I'm really interested in that, because if I'm filming and my hand shakes or whatever, or I've got it on the end of my monopod and my hand shaking a little bit or wind's blowing it, it's really smooth when it records a video. So I'd rather have something like that that stabilizes the image as I'm doing it, because if you put that on as an after effect, it makes everything look fake. So it's definitely something I'm interested in. It's $299, and they may bring out something even better. We'll just have to wait and see. But it does do the slow motion. And then this morning I got up and Fry's has the original camera that I wanted, which hadn't been released. The one way back when I first started, I wanted a Canon 110HS ELPH, but now they have the 320, which is basically the same thing with Wi-Fi built into it. And I wanted it because it's got all these cool things and it does the slow-mo. The only crappy thing about it is that it only does 24p for the high def to 1080. And I want something that does a little better than that. That's what they call like movie mode. quality, and I would rather have something that did a little more high definition. Not that I'm like this super great looking guy with perfect skin and I want everybody to see it, but if I'm going to spend the money on technology, I want the best. I don't want, you know, second best. So the search for a camera continues. I think it will continue forever until I actually buy one. But that Casio is pretty cool. That's the one I'm really jazzed about, just because 1,000 frames per second is nuts. And if you re-show that at 30, I mean, you're talking like a 5-second clip done at 1,000 frames per second. That's 5,000 frames. You divide that by 30, and it ends up being, I don't know, I really suck at math. It ends up being a lot longer clip, and it stretches it out, and it'll look really, really, really freaking cool. And so that's kind of why I'm interested in that one. But I'll have to see if I can get the money saved up. And we have a friend that goes to China too, and she may be able to pick one up while she's over there. I'd rather get one straight from Japan, because some of the stuff you get from China is not really what it says it is. So I'd rather wait and find somebody that's going to Japan and just have them pick me up one while they're there, bring it back. And occasionally you can find one online that somebody's bought in Japan and brought over here, but you can't, there's no companies that sell that camera in the United States, and they don't import it. So it is what it is. I don't know how many videos I'll get to this weekend. I'm going to try. It just depends on, why is there sunlight right there? There's like sunlight right there on my camera, and it makes no freaking sense. Maybe if I do this. Nope. It makes no sense because the sun isn't that high up. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted on that, because I don't want it to look all weird when you guys are watching this and get the solar flare on top of it. Anyway, we'll see how many videos I get to. We're prepping for our niece to come visit. We got to go look for a twin bed for when she stays with us. So I'm still excited about that. I miss her a lot, so I'm excited about her coming over. If I can, then I'll maybe throw her on a vlog, or her and I can tell some stories about working the hot dog cart together on a story time. Or I might even be able to get her to play a game with me and do the game channel. We'll have to wait and see. And the Frank is Angry thing, I'm kind of backed off on now. I'm probably going to use that channel for something else. I just haven't decided what it is yet. I have an idea, and I just have to find the time to actually do it. And normally my weekends are filled with doing other videos. So what my ultimate plan and goal is to have like a MacBook Pro to do my editing on, and Final Cut Pro X, and then get lights and a better camera. That way I can film my story stuff anytime I want. I'll have the lights. And then do my game videos during the week at night. And then on the weekends do this other idea on that other channel. Or maybe do stories and then this other thing. Because stories I really have to do either Saturday morning to afternoon or Sunday, because of the light where I'm filming them at is best during those times. So I need to get some soft lights, get it put up, and get a little bit better camera. Anyway, enough rambling. Thanks you guys for watching. I appreciate it. It definitely helps me a lot to get things off my chest and to talk about things. So appreciate you guys watching these and listening to what I have to say. If you like things that you hear, give me a thumbs up. If there's things you don't like, or if you think I'm rambling on too much, just leave it in the comments. Eventually, this vlog will be like a whole day thing, and it'll be condensed. So I'll film on my way to work, and while I'm at lunch, and then while I'm going home, and then I'll just cut it up when I get home. So that's coming. It's just gonna take a little bit. I gotta get enough time to get the software figured out and all that. So anyway, you guys have a great Friday and have a great weekend, and be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.